Republicans, unfortunately, have not been very outspoken today. A few have come out of the woodwork and said, this isn't a good idea, or I really hope that this is bluster and it doesn't come to pass. But they should be in DC, right? They
Yeah.
should be in his ear. They should be having conversations on the floor. There should be an emergency session. No president in the history of America has ever used language like this about another country. Do presidents use strong military coded language sometimes when we are in conflicts or about to get into a conflict? Sure. No American president in the history of this country on the year of our 250th anniversary has ever said we are going to wipe out an entire civilization. It's absolutely unprecedented and completely, uh, it's a five-alarm fire. All hands on deck. Congress is missing in action, and it's really a shame.
Republicans are, you know, they have fooled themselves for so long into thinking he's just kidding. That's not what he meant. That's not what he said. Like I said earlier, he's trolling, and it's lured them into this false sense of security where if they really believe that, they're going to have blood on their hands because
Agreed.
this guy is unhinged. He's completely unhinged. We were talking about bridge and power plant day to within 48 hours of that, and that was crazy enough, right? Open up the street, you crazy bastards.
On Easter Sunday, right.
And we went from that in 48 hours to we're decimating the population.
And
quite the jump there, Trump. And so this has become a situation that is now untenable because 25th Amendment, you can throw that out the window. That would require Trump's cabinet of lackeys to turn on him, and that's not happening. That's not happening. And it just came out that that Keg's breath is out here telling Trump that we're winning the war and we're doing so great and we're decimating everything. And so Trump really believes that that's happening on the ground. And it's luring him into a false sense of security. He thinks it's a game, but as we know, it's not. And Iran has been waiting for this for quite some time. And if we walk into this trap, then man, and the people of Iran, when you see them forming human chains, and having to do so around power plants and bridges, this is how did it get here? How did we get?
We don't know if they're doing that voluntarily or if their government is kind of pushing them into doing that. Either way, they're human beings, and they're putting their lives in danger, whether by force or by their own fruition. And it's there's no words. It's heartbreaking to see that happening.
If it goes down in a couple hours that we found out that we bombed Iran, there is no question that it will be thousands of innocent lives, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people.
Could be millions, Tim. It just depends on what route they go.
And there's so many options. There's one we can try to talk about how the people who are going to be hurt the worst by this are the people who have the least amount of power in Iran. And this is one of the reasons that I don't like to just own the cons or whatever people do with when conservative voters, they have been left behind and we haven't been as a party to give them an off-ramp from the Republican Party too. But I do think that there is people that we need to blame. And it's not just Donald Trump. It's every coward in his cabinet. It's every single Republican with a modicum of power who's not saying anything. And it's every fucking billionaire who's ever funded his campaign and every single person who ever turned a blind eye to things that were absolutely matters of injustice that this guy has just normalized in our country. They are the ones who can do it. And if they have any semblance of integrity, and I do not believe that they do, this is the moment for them to speak up, because unfortunately we have a country where big industry has a lot of influence. Unfortunately, we have it where if they say something, Republicans on the side and Democrats will also start saying, well, my donors are complaining, so I might as well do something about it. Whatever we have to do, I don't care what it is anymore. You know, when FDR was first elected and he had his cabinet and his brain trust, he said, just do something. And if it doesn't work, do something else, but just do something. This is a moment when we have to do something. And I will blame and I will not forgive anyone who has ever enabled this administration if they do even a fraction of what they are threatening to do right now. And I don't think any of us should. I don't think any of us should. I don't think any of us can.